Hey there, fire signs, and welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra, and you're watching Spotless Mind Tarot. Today we are going to be taking a look at the month ahead of November 2021 to see what's in store for you. We'll look at your current energies, the energy stepping in this month, and what your challenges will be. At the end of the video, I'll pull an oracle card for each sign. This reading will be good for your natal and progressed rising, sun, and moon sign or any other placement that you may have. You can also watch for your dominant element or whichever element resonates for you. These are general messages for collective fire signs, so only take what resonates. This video is for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Check out my other videos to receive even more insight from your spirit guides. Alrighty, let's get into it. The goal this month and the overall energy, we have the Three of Pentacles. The challenges you're facing this month is temperance. The current energies, we have Two of Pentacles, the Sun, Seven of Pentacles, and Eight of Pentacles. For the energies that are coming in for you this month, we have Judgment, the Five of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and the Seven of Swords. And I've also included the bottom of the deck with the Cosmic Tarot, and we've got Death. Alright, so now the reason why I am including the bottom of the deck is because after I had shuffled and pulled your goal and your challenges this month, I placed the deck down and looked at my phone to check something. And when I looked down, I saw the Death card just staring right at me. And for whatever reason, I just felt that this was really necessary and important to include. And then when I pulled the rest of the cards, it became pretty evident to me why. So this month I feel is going to be a very deeply transformative month for you guys, Aries, Leo, and Sag. There seems to be a lot going on. I feel a lot will be going in your favor, but with the energies that are stepping in, there are some cautions to take. And I feel it's going to be different for a lot of people, and not even necessarily based on your sign or anything. I think it's just more of a karmic thing. So we'll get into that part later. First of all, I want to say the goal for this month with the Three of Pentacles, I feel that work is pretty much going to dominate this month for you. I feel that you guys are really wrapping up some cycles, as most of us are anyways, because it is the end of the year. But for fire signs, I feel a very karmic cycle is ending. And I personally believe it has a lot to do with the nodes, the North Node and the South Node. The North Node is in Gemini and the South Node is in Sagittarius. And I feel that because the nodes are ending their cycle in these two signs, they're going to switch over into Scorpio and Taurus. And so for the longest time, the South Node has really affected Sagittarius for about like a year and a half. Now, this is also affecting the other fire signs because it is trining you. And then the South Node is also affecting you guys because it is basically opposing you. And the first video I did for this month was the air signs, and they seem to have a lot going on. So if you're dealing with an air sign, I suggest checking that video out. They have like a lot of crazy stuff, and you'll know what I mean if you go check it out. If you feel called to do that, do that. Otherwise, I'm gonna leave it at that because it's gonna take a lot longer including that into this video, and we don't need that. So overall this month, I feel that what you need to do is really balance out your work and to invite others to help you out with this. So this card is all about teamwork. And I know it's kind of hard to see because my camera is not going to zoom in on that. It's not going to focus. Basically, the goal this month is to stick to your plan, stick to your guns is what I'm hearing, and invite others in to help you finish and complete your projects. I feel a lot of you have done things pretty independently for the past year, and some of you are needing to meet a quota or like some kind of goal that needs to be completed by the end of the year, or perhaps by the end of the semester if you're in school, end of the quarter, whatever it is for you guys. There seems to be something that needs to be met, something that needs to be accomplished and achieved in order to, you know, succeed and obtain whatever the goal is for you. So it's really important that you allow others to step in and help out with you, especially if you feel that you've done a lot of things independently, or if you feel that you've taken on a lot of, you know, work on your own. If you feel like you've taken on a lot of the load, now is the time to ask others to step in or even step up and play their part. Now with the challenges this month, we have Temperance. And when I pulled out this card, it fell onto the floor in the reverse position. And it actually kind of flipped around twice or 3 times when it did it. So it fell out as it was falling. It was in reverse, and then it flipped onto the upright position, and then as it slid under the table, it went reversed again. And in this deck, I don't use reversals, but I feel with it falling out in the reverse position, you guys need to alchemize all this disorder. And Temperance has a lot to do with balance, cooperation, management, blending and fusion of energies, you know, bringing stuff together, and even like completing projects. It's more about a completion and a binding, you know, it's about management. And when it's in the reverse position, this says that there's a lot of disorder, there's a lot of distortion, there's a lot of let's say, unfinished plans, you know, a lot of poor management, things like that. So the challenge this month is to take all the things in your life that are unorganized, disorderly, things that are construed and distorted, and to alchemize it into balance and harmony, essentially. I feel with the energy stepping in, it could possibly throw you off, especially because we do have the 5 of Pentacles out here, which is usually a sign that you're needing some kind of assistance, some kind of help. And then we have the 7 of Swords as well, and that says to me that there's some kind of loss, some kind of theft involved. And I could be wrong, but air signs might have gotten this card too. The thing with the air signs, I made 2 videos for that because the first video was just complete trash. And if anything, the first video had the 7 of Swords. So hopefully you're not the perpetrators here when it comes to the air signs. They have someone stepping in this month that's kind of going to cause some problems for them. And I do kind of relate it to the fire signs and some water signs like Cancer. So like I said, we'll get more into that later, but basically I feel that there's going to be some disruption this month, some kind of chaos, some kind of disorder that occurs that you need to take upon yourself to fix and manage and bring back into balance and harmony. And the bottom of the deck, we had the Death card, And this to me says that you guys are facing some deep transformation this month. It could have a lot to do with money and finances, as well as love and relationships. I think there's some kind of relation here with Venus finishing up its transit in the sign of Sagittarius, and it's entering into Capricorn, where it's going to spend a pretty good amount of time there. It's going to retrograde in Capricorn, I believe, later in December. And so it's going to spend an extended amount of time in the sign than it usually does when it makes a transit. I think it usually spends about a month, maybe 6 weeks in a sign before it switches over. And then when it retrogrades, it could spend like 2 to 3 months in that sign. And, you know, Capricorn has a lot to do with money and finances. It has a lot to do with social status, vocation, career, business management, government, authority, things like that. But also, you know, with the nodes slowly switching over into a new sign, which it's wrapping up the final 1 degree, or it's not the final degree, but it's wrapping up 1 degrees of Gemini and Sagittarius this month. This is it's a very heavy stuff, I feel. And especially if you have planets or any points or houses near 0 to 2 degrees of Gemini or Sagittarius. This is kind of a big deal. But overall, for fire signs, you know, there seems to just be a big focus on, I'm hearing like reinventing yourself, maybe even reinventing your image, your public image, your overall image, even maybe just like a personal image, like your looks, you know. I feel a lot of you are gonna be even scrapping projects. Maybe you're going to be having to let go of some things in order to bring stuff back into balance. Maybe. So the video stopped recording and I have no idea what I said, but basically the Death card is about deep transformation. I feel like there's going to be a lot of deep reflection. And again, there's going to be things that need to be worked on, reevaluated. I'm getting that you guys need to, there's just going to be like a lot of reinventing this month, a lot of introspection, a lot of even self-undoing. Some of you are going to go through like a real purging, like a real death and rebirth here. And others of you, I feel you're just going to reinvent. So it's not going to be like a total deep transformation, but it's going to be like a renewal, like a refresher, you know. And I feel it has a lot to do with this Judgment energy stepping in. And underneath the Death card, we have the Emperor. So this definitely says to me that, you know, and then under that is the Star. So this definitely says to me that, first of all, there's a connection here with air and water signs, because they also got the Emperor in their reading, and it was this card specifically. But there seems to be some kind of, a lot of you are going to be stepping into a new status, a new leadership, a new identity. There seems to be a lot of responsibility on your plates, and perhaps maybe even you're going to own up and take on this responsibility. So that's really interesting. I won't go too deep into that. But I do suggest checking out the air sign video for sure. If you have water in your chart, or if you know any other water signs that are pretty close to you, I would check that out too. But if anything, I'm getting a feeling that even the earth signs, which I haven't done that video yet, I feel are connected to this air energy. And perhaps it has a lot to do with the recent Mercury retrograde in Libra we had last month. Which was pretty heavy for everybody, because that really, because it was in Libra, it really affected relationships as a whole, and your relationship, or your place within relationships. I know oftentimes people see Libra as like a focus on other people, but there's also a focus on yourself within a relationship dynamic. And that can go for any relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be business, platonic, regular friendship, you know, a relationship a relationship between you and your boss, you and your teacher, or whatever. Just any kind of relationship. So, you know, I feel a lot of us had to go through a lot of deep self-reflection, because Libra is also one of the cards of reflection, because it's a dual sign. I feel the dual sign zodiac signs are all about reflection. So Libra, Gemini, and Pisces, and even Cancer can be considered a dual sign. So looking at the current energies, immediately with the 2 Pentacles, I always relate that to substance abuse, especially alcohol. So a lot of you might just be overdoing it, but at the same time, maybe not. Maybe you guys are just really enjoying yourself. So, you know, and it doesn't have to be like substance abuse. I kind of get like guilty pleasures off this card. Mostly recreational drugs and alcohol, but you know, it could be anything else. It could even just be spending habits. It could be eating habits, you know, just anything that's pleasurable. And now it kind of makes sense to me why I get that energy, because this is a Jupiter and Capricorn sign. And you don't typically expect Capricorn to be self-indulgent, but they're definitely very self-focused, you know, they're very self-aware. So, yeah, there could be some, you know, a lot of you could just be partying a lot. A lot of you could just be, you know, having a lot of fun. This also tells me that you guys are doing pretty good with balancing your finances. And I feel overall in life, there seems to be a pretty good balance. I usually, this card, people see it as like a need to bring things into balance. But with the sun here, I just feel like you guys are doing pretty good. You know, but again, you know, we do have temperance as a challenge. So this might be a theme that carries over throughout the month of needing to balance out, you know, whatever it is in your life that needs balancing, basically. But I do feel that you guys are just really, really enjoying yourselves right now, and really being very optimistic, you know. And I'm channeling Sagittarius pretty hard in this reading. And that's kind of a no surprise, because I do know quite a handful of Sagittarius's sun and moons. So, you know, and then we have the South Node wrapping up its transit in Sagittarius. So there seems to be some really big transformations for all the Sages out there. And it is your birthday month, right? Well, it will be halfway through the month. And then December is technically like your birthday month, right? But overall, things just look really good right now at the current time. And then we have the 7 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles. So you guys really are focused on career matters. Even if it's not career, it could be education. It could be just overall business, things that you are really good at. You guys are, it seems to be to me that you guys are wrapping up a lot here. You're really getting things in order and you're perfecting them. So the 8 of Pentacles is all about perfecting. And it could also be about, some of you might even be taking on new classes, or you may be taking on a new study of some sort. I feel that the beginning of November is gonna be a really good time for you to like, not like harvest, right? Because the 7 of Pentacles, it can show a harvesting, a time to harvest, but it could also show a time or a need to delay. So it's like not time yet, but almost time. But I feel like you guys are gonna be basically wrapping up a lot here. And again, I feel it's mostly business and education. You could also be taking on, what do you call, like, maybe you might be training somebody, or like you're gonna be like a guide for somebody, you're gonna be like someone's guru. I feel like you're gonna be inspiring somebody somehow, or like you're gonna be taking somebody in under your wing. That may not be for all of you, but for some of you, that seems to be the case. Somebody seems to be following in your footsteps, or you could be following in somebody's footsteps. You could be the one that's taking on like some kind of apprenticeship or like some intern job, picking up a new skill. Either way, you're really inspired, and in turn, it's going to be inspiring others. And it's going to be really obvious. So it's going to be seen. Whatever you're doing, it's really obvious. At least to the people around you. So yeah, Scorpio season, the first couple weeks of the month, I feel is a really good time to like, you know, clean up, round out the edges, get things back into balance and harmony, get things back into order, finalize projects, you know, meet that quota, whatever it is for you, you know. There just seems to be a good emphasis on like wrapping things up this month. And it's not so much closing out a cycle, because we don't have like the World or Wheel of Fortune out or anything. But you're just getting things into order. You're you know, yeah, you get it. I'm also getting you're starting to see things for the way they are. I feel like you're coming to terms with something here. There's something that has recently happened, or has happened in the last couple months, maybe even just the last couple of weeks, something that's come to light, and you're starting to accept it. You're starting to, I feel like some of you are vocalizing something here. You're starting to speak up about something. I feel a lot of you were pretty like introverted, or like even like in a hermit mode, and now you're kind of like stepping out. You have a lot of energy, that's for sure. There's just a lot of energy going on. There's a lot of activity going on. And I really, really feel the workplace is just really busy for you. You could also just be preparing for the holidays. But overall, things seem to be moving in your favor. So that's good. As long as you start to alchemize this order that presents itself as a challenge this month, I feel you'll be pretty solid. Now, the energy stepping in, we have Judgment, the Five of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and the Seven of Swords. When I first saw this, I was pretty concerned, because I thought, okay, well, we have Judgment, and usually this says that things are going to go into your favor. You know, things are going to, you know, like, things are just going to work out for you, right? But then we have the Five of Pentacles, and then the Seven of Swords, and then like the Page of Cups in between. And I'm just like, well, what's the problem then, right? So I feel some of you could be this Page of Cups energy. This could also be somebody that you're dealing with who's a Libra, Scorpio, or Sagittarius. And if you are a Sagittarius, perhaps this is going to be a role you're going to have to step into later this month. Or even now, this energy here can happen at any time. you know, this is like the current energies are like the beginning of the month, and this is typically like the middle of the month, or like what is going to be coming in, you know. So it may or may not disrupt this current energy. That really depends on each individual. But I will say that for a lot of you, and probably especially Sagittarius, you're gonna have to be really patient and like really observant. Now, I know I feel like some of you have been in like hermit mode and you're starting to step out, but for Sagittarius, I feel like that's still the case, but you need to still be very reflective and still kind of take a step back. Don't be so straightforward, I guess, which I know might be pretty hard for a Sag, right? They're pretty straightforward. But I feel you're gonna have to, either you're gonna be needing some kind of assistance here, or you're gonna have to step in for somebody and offer your assistance to them. And I could see how you're gonna be offering assistance to this Five of Pentacles energy and blocking out the Seven of Wands energy, which is not a fun card, you know. It's usually not. Sometimes in a reading it comes up as like a fun energy to me, but there's something pretty not like dark or depressing, but there seems to be some kind of, you know, like there seems to be some kind of struggle here. I feel a lot of you too, and another reason why I feel that there's a lot of karmic energy is because the Judgment card to me is pretty karmic, right? And it is represented by Pluto. This Judgment, it may not go in your favor. I would say it would go in your favor in terms of karma. So like karma could be good or bad, or harmonious or disharmonious. And again, that is going to depend on each individual. I don't think it's going to be dependent on a sign per se. So you want to be careful, because Judgment's calling. And for some of you, it's going to bite you in the ass. I'm just going to say it. And you might end up on your ass. I'm just going to say that too. And so you might be needing this assistance from this Page of Cups, which is a person who has no problem offering their assistance, offering advice. They're also people that can help you see into your feelings. I feel they can kind of bring out aspects of yourself that you've turned a blind eye to. And it is a younger energy, so there could be some issues with the inner child, or you just may be embracing your inner child more. For some of you, you're gonna have to take a loss here. I don't think it's gonna be terrible though, or like an overall bad thing. It's a temporary loss for sure. And this loss could be anything. Like I feel for some of you, you're gonna have to step away from a situation or a group of people, or even a relationship. Maybe even some habits. I feel a lot of you are just having to, you know, because it is a month for you to reinvent yourself. I think you're just gonna have to take what works and leave behind what doesn't, and completely leave it behind. You know, like you're not coming back for it. You can't take all the swords with you. You're gonna have to leave some behind. There's only so much you could carry. And again, with the Temperance that came out in reverse, I was getting that there probably are going to be some things that you're going to have to drop and let go of. And so that seems to be the case with the Seven of Swords here. Now, if you're the one offering assistance and not needing assistance, you're going to have to make yourself loud and clear. Because the person who's looking for the assistance, even if they come directly to you, they might not. You're going to have to be very clear about what it is you're doing for them. or ask them like what is it exactly that are they needing from you. Because this person that is going to need assistance, even if it's yourself, they're not very clear about it. Or perhaps they're too afraid to ask or too shy to ask. Or they don't feel worthy enough. They might also just be blind to their own, like, self-help. Like, perhaps they could help themselves. And so all you need to do, or all this other person needs to do for you, is to kind of like remind you of your own power, of your own ability to overcome whatever it is that's got you in this Five of Pentacles energy. A lot of you are definitely dealing with an Aquarius or an Aquarius moon, and specifically, you know, and this could have a lot to do with Leos, because Aquarius is opposite or your sister sign. So if you're a Leo, maybe check out what is going on in your chart when it comes to Aquarius. And we do have Saturn there, and Saturn did just go direct last month. So things should be, you know, things should be rolling again in terms of everything that has to do with Saturn. And then perhaps during Saturn retrograde, which pretty much lasted all summer in the sign of Aquarius, perhaps you're realizing, especially Leos right now, that, you know, like, you can't do it all, or like it's not that serious is what I'm hearing. Like, it wasn't that serious, or it wasn't that important. Like, maybe there's something you were doing that you thought was like so crucial and so important and necessary, and you're realizing that it really wasn't, which is fine, because that was the lesson you needed to learn. I'm not getting a whole lot of Aries out of this, so I apologize to my Aries if you're watching. And that could just mean that you guys are going to be, you know, less affected by some of this energy, especially this Five of Pentacles energy. But judgment is still calling regardless. Like, I don't think that's going to skip over any of you guys. And then Sagittarius, I really feel, is going through this death card energy the most. And then we do have the card out, which is Temperance. And again, it was in reverse when it came out. So you guys are needing to, like, pick yourselves back up. You're needing to reinvent yourself. You're needing to answer a call is what I'm hearing. Or a calling. It could even be literal. Like, you need to answer the phone. Or maybe look at your text messages. Maybe there's a very important text that you looked over. Especially, like, if you have, like, a lot of unread messages. Even emails. Check your messages. That's what I'm getting for Sag. There's something that you're missing. Something really, really important. And has a lot to do with this death card energy. And even this Three of Pentacles energy. So there could be something really important that you're missing. That's like the final piece to this. I'm getting the final pieces are coming together. It could be information. It could be assistance from other people. It is a card of teamwork. Entrepreneurship. Putting your skills to good use too. So, and we have the Eight of Pentacles too, which is all about perfecting your skill. So it's time for you guys to, like, really put yourselves out there, especially for those who were in hermit mode. Like, it's not, now's the time to go, especially during Sagittarius season, because that's going to be good for all fire signs. it's time to move. What else? What else can I get? Somebody's definitely needs your advice about something, or you're needing advice about something, and you can get this advice from a Libra, a Scorpio, or a Sagittarius. Perhaps you need to connect with your emotional body, especially for those of you who have been pretty busy this year, or who have kind of put their emotions to the side to focus on other things. You need to check in with yourself, check in with your inner child, make sure you're having fun, because some of you may not be having fun, and that's what you need to balance out, like work and play. And again, I did get, you know, recreational drugs and alcohol. I always get that from this card. Well, not always, but it could scream pretty loudly to me. You know, there needs to be some kind of balance there. Maybe you're overdoing it, or maybe you're not having enough fun. Like maybe you're taking shit way too seriously. And we do have a lot of pentacle energy, so that could be the case. Like you guys are just so focused on hustling. You're so focused on working, even if it's not generating income or anything like that. You're just so focused on improvement, improving yourself, especially in your image. Some of you need to update your resume. It's so funny. Some of you need to maybe not update your resume, but maybe you need to change your job title, or change the way you present yourself. You need to present yourself as a master of something. And I'm getting fake it till you make it. So if you're not there yet, fake it till you make it, you know, and it's not so much pretending or being fake about it necessarily. It's if it's something that you're striving for, perhaps you need to give yourself more credit and believe more in your own power and your own ability to achieve greatness. So when it comes to your connection with the air sign video, or just air signs in general, I feel like you're gonna really be disturbing some of them. I feel like some of you are gonna have to take back something that's yours. Now with the air signs, I felt like somebody was gonna come in and take all the credit from them. So definitely don't do that. Don't be conniving and deceitful. But perhaps some of those air signs, when I said that somebody wants to take credit for something they've done, maybe it's something that you've done, right? Or maybe you guys worked on some kind of project together, and you need to put your name on it too. You need to be wait a minute, I helped out too. But at the same time, I feel like some of you could be the one that's deceitful and petty and take all the credit for yourself. So hopefully that's not the case, because we have Judgment, and you could end up on your ass or making a fool of yourself. So only take credit for something that you actually have business and giving yourself credit for, right? If you have receipts too, because I feel like Libras are, oh, that's interesting, I said Libras, air signs, but I guess Libras, right? They have the receipts for what they've been doing, and for some of them you're not on it. I'm sorry to have to say that, but I'm being honest here. But for others, it's likely that you have some receipts too, or maybe you just have your own receipts. Like you're just coincidentally doing the same thing. Either way, I feel you're gonna thrive in your own way, as you guys naturally do, because you guys are very self-motivated and self-driven, and you guys are really like adamant about getting what you want. You know, you guys are kind of seen as like selfish signs, you know, and it's not so much like selfish. It can be egotistical, but you know, selfish can be a good thing. It really depends on what that is exactly. So either way, like I kind of feel like maybe it's not going to affect you as much. Like if you end up making a fool of yourself, you're just going to kind of like be like, why the heck did I do that? And be like, oh well, we're moving on, you know? Like I'll just take my shit and go, right? Like it doesn't really matter. Like you could have those 2 swords. I'll take these 5. And it's interesting, like you could have those 2 swords which are standing up, right? And they're proud and they're here and they're making a scene, and then you're having to take away your 5 swords. You're gonna like pick up your shit and go, I'm gonna go work on this. This is all I can handle is what I'm hearing. Like I can handle this much. And again, you're gonna have to leave stuff behind. Like, so I don't feel that someone is taking from you necessarily. And I don't think for everybody, maybe like 1 or 2 of you, or maybe even like people around you, you know, if you know other fire signs, could be conniving. But I just kind of feel like it's interesting because it's such a stark contrast to the air signs, where then it kind of felt like conniving energy. But for you guys, it's like not. But that could just be your guys' fire energy, you know, your typical self-assertive energy, self-dominant energy, you know, but it's a challenge because temperance is the challenge. The challenge is to balance and maintain, as well as bring peace and harmony to a situation. Someone's going to have to be the mediator here. Somebody's going to have to be like the bigger person, or like, and the bigger person can even be somebody that just like lets it go and moves on. So like you don't have to make a big scene about it, because I kind of like, I'm not getting that from this card. Like this card right now to me is like, it's saying like it's not a big scene, or it's not as what it seems, or it's not a big deal. Like it's a big deal to you, perhaps, and maybe you won't even admit that, but you know, it's more like personal. It can even be a silent thing. Like this is something you're gonna do quietly, because it is, you know, because theft is meant to be quiet. It's meant to be sneaky and, you know, under the covers. Ooh, so you guys need to be careful if you're, you know, sneaking around under the covers, because you're gonna get caught. Someone's getting caught this month. We do have Judgment. So that's really interesting that I picked up on that. So whoever that is, you know, the sun's shining on you. You're gonna get caught. Or you're gonna catch somebody in the act of doing something. So if you're not sneaking under the covers doing something like that, like something's just gonna come to light here. You or somebody's not gonna get away with it. So that's interesting. And again, I said there's like different messages here. So I've been saying a lot of different things. So pick up what resonates with you, okay? So some of you are sneaking around, and then others of you are just taking back what's yours, or just kind of like letting shit go, moving on. It's in the past. I don't know why I heard, but I've got my own magic. I've got my own tricks. I'm also hearing two can play that game. Now this Judgment card could also just be a wake-up call to yourself. Perhaps some kind of loss or some kind of failure, or like not meeting expectation, or like not being able to complete something, not being able to finish the race is going to wake you up to something. Like you're doing too much. Some of you are doing too much, or you're not doing enough. So that's really like, and we do have the Two of Pentacles, so it's like, it's interesting how there's like this dynamic going on of like, it's like wishy-washy, and it's really, and again, it's really dependent on who you are as a person. And as the nodes finish up their transit in Gemini and Sagittarius, which I'm not too sure when they change signs. I'm assuming by middle December it's going to switch out signs. And also I will point out it's eclipse season now, so we're going to be having some eclipses here pretty soon. The next one, I believe, I don't know if this new moon we're having right now, this new moon in Scorpio, is an eclipse. But I do know for a fact the full moon and then this month and then the new moon in December are both eclipses. And one of them is a total eclipse, which I think is the full moon. But I could be wrong. You're going to have to look that up. Or I'll just put it up on the screen or whatever. So, you know, there's these opposite things happening, especially with the full moon and with the nodes, you know. There's this opposite kind of energy. There's this balancing. Perhaps you could even be playing to both sides. Like maybe you're doing too much of one thing and not enough of the other. Or you gotta like switch the roles up, you know, like, you know what I'm saying. I'm sure you get that. I'm trying not to like go off here on a tangent about shit like that, you know. And then we have Temperance too. So yeah, it is a big month of balancing, of bringing things back into order. And it's up to you guys to do that. That's your challenge, is to alchemize this reverse energy, which I don't do reversals on this deck, to take this and flip it back into the position it deserves to be in. And, you know, you're gonna have to take it upon yourself to bring in this balance and harmony, whether for yourself or for other people. Either way, you just got to take it upon yourself. And so I'm hearing you got to drop the dead weight. That can include people, relationships, contracts, negotiations, things just that aren't working out, things that you can't perfect, things that you can't, you know, come together with a team, you know, things that like you're gonna find some missing pieces to a situation, and the things that you can't find a missing piece, like you're just gonna have to let it go. And that's gonna be hard, because like I feel like you guys want it all, and I feel like for a lot of you, like you're like, I can do this, I can handle it, like why can't I? But the truth is, like, you probably could, but why? Like, why put yourself through all that misery? You're gonna end up on your ass. You're gonna end up needing help, like more help than you actually need. And again, like, check your messages, especially Sag. Now Aries, I feel like you guys are just gonna go under the radar with all of this, so you guys are probably gonna get away with a lot. And then Leos, you know, we have Saturn and Jupiter opposing you guys, so you're gonna have to like take things more seriously. And then like Sagittarius, like you guys need to stop taking shit so fucking seriously. You need some fun in your life. At the same time, like I feel like Sagittarius have no problem having fun, and you guys aren't one to take things seriously, but there's a situation you're in, or something that you're dealing with, that you're being too serious about it. Like you're trying to one up somebody, and all it's doing is hurting you in the end. Like, and you're probably even asking yourself, like, why am I doing this? Like, or why do I do this? Like, why do I, like, why is this me? Why am I like this? So yeah, that's interesting. All of this is very interesting. And I hope it wasn't confusing, because this is one of those readings that really confuses the shit out of me. But when that happens, it's usually because it's really, the message is really not for me and it's for other people or the person I'm reading for. So there's so many readings I've done where like I'm just so confused about what I'm saying, but the feedback I get from them, they're just like, oh my God, like, how did you know? Like, so I hope that all of this, or at least chunks of this, resonated for you guys. And again, remember that there's a lot of individual things going on here, and it's not necessarily dependent on sign unless I stated that. So yeah. Also, careful with the air signs. That's all I can say. So now we're gonna pull some oracle cards for you guys, and I've already shuffled and all that good stuff. So we're just gonna get into it because I know my videos are like ridiculously long, and I'm trying to bring them down to like 45-minute videos, and I feel like I can do that. I just gotta shut up and just get the message out. So anyways, we're gonna start pulling oracle cards from the Elemental Oracle deck, and I'm gonna start with Aries, and then we'll do Leo and Sagittarius, and I'll leave timestamps as usual so you could skip to your card if you like. All right, so here we go. We're gonna start with Aries, and already it's jumping out at me. Oop. Come on now, come on now. Oh, now you want to be a problem. Okay, we have atoms. For Leo, we have air. And for Sag, ooh, we have fire. Sorry if that wasn't like in the middle of the camera screen, but whatever. Okay, so starting with Aries, we have atoms for you guys, and the word for this is building, and the card number is 40. All right, so the book says everything is connected by the same building blocks of matter. You are electric and vibrating in motion. Being stagnant in your beliefs and growth is unnatural. Building and changing is natural. There is room for infinite variety. So again, I feel like Aries is so under the radar in this reading. And perhaps maybe because there's something you're being stagnant about. And it's saying being stagnant in your beliefs and growth is unnatural. So if anything, maybe you guys are the true hermits here, and you're having to step out. Now, I usually relate this oracle card to like blueprints and like kind of paving the way for yourself. And so if anything, when it comes to this death card transformational thing going on here, you need to make yourself seen in a very subtle way. So notice how there's like globes on here, right? These bright globes in the water in this boat with this person. Hold on. I feel you're going to have to make a subtle appearance while still shining really bright, right? While still being that Aries, that driven, that outgoing, that vibrant Aries that you are. I feel like you guys are like the subtle version of Leo. Like you guys are like Leo, but without the dramatics. That's what I get. from Aries. Like, you don't have to say anything, like, you do it. And that's such a good analogy. Like, you guys are the doers. Like, you just do it without wanting attention necessarily. No, that's kind of weird to say, because I feel like all fire signs want attention. But, like, you don't necessarily care if you're seen per se. You just care about doing it. And so, for those of you who are Aries and perhaps in, like, a hermit mode, you gotta, like, be really subtle about this sun energy, about this Leo energy, while still shining really fucking bright. I feel like you guys are going to be an example for somebody. I did pick up on how, like, somebody, or just all fire signs, but I'm guessing Aries now, how, like, you're going to be inspiring people. And I think you're just going to inspire people by just doing it as you naturally do, but being a little more, like, I know I said subtle, but being a little more, you know, a little more obvious, you know. So, like, Leo is really freaking obvious, but, like, so it's kind of like being obvious, but without calling the attention to yourself. Like, you just do it, and you're not looking around to see if anyone's watching, because somebody is watching. So you don't need to look around. Just know in the back of your mind somebody's watching. But personally, it's a good time for you to just kind of, you know, step out. Just step out. That's all I'm going to say. Now, Leo, we have, for you guys, we have air. And the word for this is motion. And the card number is 22. So let's see what the book says. Oh, I skipped. All right. Be flexible yet grounded. Allow yourself free thought. Move and choose. Find your freedom. Use your voice resourcefully. Stand up for what you believe in. Be mindful of the way you communicate. Be flexible yet grounded. So you gotta move like air, right? So you can't necessarily see the air, but you can feel it, right? You could smell it. You could sense it. The wind, the, you know, just whatever. It's there, right? I kind of feel you guys are needing to change your direction here, Leos. You need to change your stance on something. If not change direction or change your stance, you just need to be more upfront about it, or more rooted in it. Be more rooted in the decisions you make this month. Once you make a decision, like, just stick with it. And don't worry how it's gonna turn out, or don't worry, you know, like, all the steps you're gonna have to take and all the things you have to do to get there. Just do it. Just begin it. Just go. Just flow. You guys gotta flow this month. More than anything, you guys gotta flow. And, you know, it wants you to be mindful about the way you talk to people, the way you communicate your thoughts and your ideas. Perhaps you need to get advice from a Gemini, which is really funny for me to say. That's such a funny thing to channel. There's something about a Gemini here. So that's all I'm really getting. I know this is kind of a strange reading, so we're just gonna move on. Now Sag, we have fire, and the word for this is ignition, and the number for this is number 8. All right, so Sag, live your passion, allow your spirit to drive you forward. Don't overthink the situation. Now is the time to innovate and take action. Be a lighthouse for others, or find yourself a mentor. What did I say, Sag? Oh my god. So you guys are coming through pretty freaking heavy in this reading. I feel like that's all that needs to be said, honestly. Like that card is very self-explanatory. Just really, yeah, like I honestly, I'm being called to not say anything else. Just take it for what it is. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave that there. And I do plan on coming back for mid-month check-ins. Hopefully that can happen. I was supposed to get this reading out like Tuesday, but it didn't happen. Shit came up again as usual for me. I'm going through a shit ton right now, and I'm doing my best to move through it and move on and all that good stuff. So I really do hope that I can come back to this with a mid-month reading and check in on you guys. When I do that reading, it'll be really quick. It's just a check-in. I'm not going to do any predictions. We're just basically going to look at the current energies at that time. And again, I'll pull oracle cards, you know, to just add more flavor to it. But I kind of feel like the message was said here. So we're just going to end the video like that. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the week and a great month. And good luck with everything. All right. Love you guys.